Last week, we talked about the Romance Dawn arc, going into immense detail talking about my first impressions of the series. This week, we're going to be spending a lot of time on actually the first half of the Orangetown arc to go in deep on my current favorite One Piece character, Nami. It's been a long time since I've actually read a series where I've genuinely just enjoyed how layered and mysterious Nami as a character is, and in my opinion, she is currently One Piece's most valued treasure. So today in this video, we're going to talk about Nami and much, much more. This is Orangetown, Part 1. To start off, in the last video, we talked a little bit about Nami and how she offered to team up with Luffy. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. But you'd think he'd be all for it, as it means another person for his crew. Instead, he surprisingly refuses her offer, which is not what I expected in the least. Though, it's not like Nami makes her case any better as she continually hassles Luffy about his hat and what it could be worth since he treasures it so much. So they go to a random house while everyone else is in a shelter, and it's there we learn of Nami's true intentions. She needs 100 million belly to buy a village that is left to our imaginations as to what it really is. It's probably her home village though, and to get the belly she needs to go and steal as much as she can from pirates. It also just happens that she is a master in navigation, something Luffy needs, though once he asks her to join his pirate crew, she actually turns it down. Turns out, she hates pirates. Who knew? And while the woman steals, she actually only steals from them. Though, at least she makes sure to say that she loves money, tangerines, probably why her hair is orange, and the sea. Wait a minute. The sea? The sea? Hold up, guys. That means Nami loves me. I'm the SeaTactics. Oh my god. You guys, this is great. I finally have my waifu for laifu. And it's Nami of all people. I'm sure this won't backfire in any way. So, Nami decides to trick Luffy by telling him if they go to Buggy, a pirate that she wants to steal from, then she'll consider joining his crew. Then, when they actually go there, she ties up Luffy and presents him to Buggy, double-crossing him. Though this is the perfect time to actually talk about Buggy, because Buggy is quite the clown. Because he is one. And surprisingly, he also has the powers of the devil fruit. And it turns out that the treasure map that Nami stole is Buggy's, and he wants it back to the point where he blows up one of his crew for having it stolen in the first place. Buggy, though, despite his appearance, he's one bad dude. We even learned from Nami that after some random kids make fun of his nose, he destroyed the entire village just for that. I mean, come on, dude. Just your nose. So Luffy is, well, as we see, betrayed by Nami, and we see firsthand what Nami is doing here, which is essentially double-crossing both Luffy and Buggy to ultimately get the map as well as Buggy's treasure. Though things take a turn for the worst as the cold-hearted and conniving Nami sees firsthand the kind of person Buggy actually really is. So to make an example, Buggy fires his special Buggy cannon, destroying multiple houses with one cannonball, and then tells Nami to prove her allegiance to the Buggy pirate crew by killing her so-called former boss Luffy. This is a huge dilemma and a big insight into Nami as a person, as she obviously doesn't want to do this because while she hates pirates, she realizes that by killing Luffy, she is no different from people like Buggy. I adored this because this chapter really sets up Nami as being more than just a cold-hearted woman. She does have a heart. It's just that, well, she also has goals, and those goals mean more to her than friendship, at least at this moment. Though I think rather beautifully, Luffy here reminds her in this moment that it's not like a pirate to take another's life, but with a grin, he says, it's like a pirate to be prepared to risk your life, showing exactly why Luffy is the man he is and why he's our main character. So, triumphantly, Nami takes out her pole and strikes down one of the Buggy crew's members, and it's here we learn that the reason Nami hates pirates is because pirates took a person she loved a long time ago, besides the whole village thing. She didn't do it because she was necessarily saving Luffy in this moment, though obviously that's a side effect here, but because she remembered who she was in the first place. This is such a fantastic moment for Nami's character that clearly shows she's not a bad guy, but in fact as good a guy as Luffy or Zoro even. I also think it's quite forgivable and understandable why she hates pirates in the first place. I think back in my own life, for example, this channel used to be focused around ReZero, but when Katakawa striked my channel and a bunch of toxic content creators from that community took over the community, well, I kind of grew to resent that community for a little bit. So I personally get her. I understand completely why she'd hate pirates just because of her own personal experience without taking into account the people that are actually into this industry. In other words, one bad apple ruined the bunch for Nami. That being said, Buggy orders his crew to kill Nami, and while not wanting Luffy to die, the fuse is still lit and she has to not only protect herself, but try and save Luffy in the process. Thankfully, this is actually the perfect time for Zoro to come in and save the day, which leads to a confrontation between Krusty the Clown and the Pirate Hunter. A showdown indeed, but it's Zoro who slices him into pieces with ease. Though not so fast, as Buggy's disembodied hand stabs Zoro, and it's revealed that Buggy's true power comes from the Chop Chop fruit. Essentially, what this means is no matter how many times he's sliced up, his limbs and body parts will reattach themselves. This makes for one interesting battle, as now Zoro has to watch out from every angle, and slicing him can also give him a even bigger advantage than he already has, meaning he'll probably have to stab him or poke him or something instead of slicing. Though I will say I find it humorous that Nami is shocked to find out that the devil fruit actually exists. And Luffy ironically calls him a monster despite him literally being a rubber man. That's good stuff right there. Though they're actually able to salvage the situation a little bit when they use Buggy's cannon against him, creating a distraction to try and get out. While this is happening, Zoro surprises literally everyone, and shockingly, with a stomach wound, lifts up Luffy while inside the cage, mind you, to escape. All I have to say about this is that Zoro is such a badass. The dude, even with a possible life-threatening injury, picks up the cage with Luffy in it as if it were no big deal. Oh, we gotta change his name. Something like, Giga Chad Zoro? Anyways, though they are able to escape, Buggy introduces a new foe. The furry foe, in fact. Vice Captain Moji and his lion. This is actually pretty funny in a way, but also really cool in another because it seems Buggy often just has these crazy twists where he ends up bringing out a dude who literally rides a lion. It's like his pirate crew is just gigantic circus theme, and we're all just a bunch of marks enjoying the ride. Then on the other hand, I mean, come on. The dude is riding a lion. I want to ride a lion. That's just cool as hell. Though there is another beast Zoro and Luffy have to deal with. A dog. Also, Nami is there too. So she's back to basically repay them for saving her life, and along with that, she gives them the key to his cage. This shows a loyal and grateful side to Nami that doesn't forget to repay those that have helped her along the way. This also is another trait which seems to be directly against the way she's been acting towards them thus far. With how flippant and ready she is to betray and double-cross people for money and treasure. It does make me think that Nami is eventually going to get away from that and display more of these positive traits we've been seeing. Though that's just a guess and speculation. We'll have to see what happens. Also, the dog ate the key. Next, we are introduced to a new character, the Harbor Village Chief Boodle. I'm guessing his name is because he looks a lot like, well, a poodle. So Boodle, it's a weird name, helps them all out by letting Zoro rest in his house and tells Nami and Luffy that the dog is actually here to guard the pet food store. He even seems to have gotten in a scruff with the pirates previously. But it gets worse as they learn the dog's owner has passed away just 3 months prior. The story takes a bit of a twist here because while many people think the dog is waiting for his owner to return, in reality, Boodle thinks it's because he cherishes this place, knowing that his owner has already passed away. It's a really touching story because even when Boodle would take the dog away, he'd come back eventually, and he even feeds him because he thinks he'd starve otherwise. I must say, this really hit me in the feels because recently I had a really awful decision to make to put down my cat due to just many ailments and diseases he had picked up over 15 years. So whenever I see stories about pets like these, it just, it makes me want to cry a little bit remembering my own cat. Also, as well, I just think the story of this dog named Shushu protecting the pet store is so heartwarming, and all at the same time a reminder that our pets are important figures in our life and we should cherish them as much as we possibly can. But the good times don't last as Moji shows up with his lion in tow. He puffs his chest, claiming that there is no animal that won't obey him, and to make an example, he tells Shushu to shake his paw, but in return, he gets his hand bit. Probably deserved it, though this leads to the lion smashing Luffy's cage, allowing him to finally break free. This leads to, quite literally, Luffy being blown through an entire building. What does the man do after that, though? While Nami and Poodle are floored by what happened, what does the man do after that? Well, of course, he nonchalantly just ignores it as if this is normal, and why wouldn't it happen? I'm Luffy after all, is probably what he'd say. Whatever. It gets even better though. Boodle asks why he's here, and I'm not kidding when I say this. Luffy makes up a reason on the spot by saying he wants the map to the Grand Line and a navigator. There's always one thing that you can be sure of, and that's Luffy being this internal ray of sunshine in a series that may or may not need it depending on how you view it already. While this is happening, Shushu is defending the shop from Moji. Shushu is struck down by him, but after that he is reminded of what he's fighting for and surprisingly is able to fight back against the lion. Though, what's really great about this moment is Shushu's memories tell the story of a man who originally struggled with his business and grew to prosper. And even when things seemed grim, Shushu stayed by his master's side and protected the store. These memories of a better time is what motivates Shushu to defend his store because he's not just defending a store, he's defending the representation of his happiest memories and the memory of his master all in one. Because while he may have passed away, the memories in which they had there are far too great to just be abandoned. So what happens next is even more heartbreaking, as the store is burned down by Moji. What gets me the most, though, is the tears in Shushu's eyes, as all he can do is bark while watching it all burn down in front of him. Though, this leads to the ultimate showdown between Moji and Luffy. He immediately uses Gomu Gomu no Tsuchi and takes down the lion, much to Moji's dismay. Even worse is Luffy is hellbent on kicking this guy's ass, and he should, as the sight of Shushu sent him into a flying rage, and now Moji's begging only rings hollow on our hero. So Luffy puts an end to Moji by beating his ass down before he can even continue begging for help. I say, that's a fitting end for a horrible man. After the fight, we see the aftermath of Moji's actions. Shushu is staring at what's left of his pet store, and we interestingly get commentary from Nami on how she feels. Looking at the rubble, she laments the existence of pirates in general and that the only thing they're good for is the destruction of all things that are good. This gives us massive insight into what Nami is, because we can surmise from this and start to piece together that the village she was talking about and the motivation to steal from pirates, the person that she lost, now these comments, we can piece together that these are definitive talking points about Nami's home village being pillaged or taken over by pirates, and thus being under control of the pirates, who have probably demanded a large sum of money to buy it back. So, feeling scorned by this, she only steals from pirates as a way to rationalize and justify her stealing, and essentially becoming a thief. Though, we gotta be real for a moment, while Nami is a thief, can you really blame her for stealing from the very group of people that only caused her trouble? That right there is undeniable. Great writing, and honestly, I hope I'm right, not because of my ego or anything, but because so far, every character has been developed so well in One Piece, and Nami is not an exception to that. Though I do want to point out that Nami's reaction to Luffy is also quite saddening, but understandable, and so I just can't blame her at all. She essentially wishes that Luffy was eaten and killed by that lion, that Luffy is no different from the pirates that ruined her life and Shushu's pet store. The reason I say this is so understandable is because she's obviously going through a difficult time already becoming a thief, risking her life, and it's all because of these pirates. She can't allow herself to trust pirates at all, because trusting pirates would be a direct threat to her rationale behind becoming a thief in the first place. Obviously, Luffy isn't the bad guy here, and I think deep down Nami knows that as much of a fact like as us readers do. The issue that arises here is that Nami hasn't properly worked out her trauma in a healthy way, because equating Luffy, the guy who looks like this, to people like this is obviously ridiculous. But that's the thing. People who are emotional don't make rational decisions. They make emotional decisions. Though, admittedly, I also think that sometimes people also need to see firsthand how wrong they can be. And we see this in the form of Luffy sitting down and giving Shushu the only thing left from the pet store, box of dog food. Nami realizes that at this moment, Luffy isn't like those other pirates. He's special. He went out of his way to fight Moji and his lion for, of all things, this dog. He wasn't doing it for attention, money, or power. He was doing it because it was the right thing to do. In such a hard world where pirates overrun the seas and do awful things, there are still people out there that go directly against those beliefs. Justly, purely, and willingly do what's right only because it's what needs to be done. Nami wasn't prepared to see that side of Luffy. She had her mind made up about him, but thankfully, she was wrong. Once again, One Piece is proving to me that despite what the series may look like from the outside looking in, it's a layered series that tells stories with each character. Just take, for example, all the characters I've talked about in this video alone, and how each one tells their own unique story, but as well a life lesson. Let me explain. With Shushu, his character shows the importance of valuing those around you even when they may be gone. Shushu protected the pet's shop, even from a terrifying lion with his whole being. He never gave that shop to the lion or Moji because he respected the memory of his master that much. Everything he is as a living creature is represented in that shop, and without it, only the memories remain. Though this story of Shushu, it inspires Luffy to take down Moji and the lion so that Nami would be able to realize the error of her, understandably, judgmental ways. Now, Nami realizes Luffy is a good person and that the cover doesn't necessarily fit the book. This is a huge moment for Nami because it opens up her mind to the possibility of there being more to pirates and just people in general than what their occupations, goals, or desires may be. It's clear that with such a heavy focus on Nami that she's clearly going to have more and more revealed about her character in the future. And I cannot wait to see where that's headed because she's the most interesting out of all the characters by a country mile, at least thus far. So my hope is that she will get her own arc to flesh out her story, and I bet she will because, well, to simply put, we got the time, and so far Oda has been really good about giving things time to breathe and develop. But if you want to get access right now to part 3 and my videos on Syrup Village and the Buggy arcs, I would greatly urge you guys to become a patron on the $5 tier, which gives you access to all of my One Piece videos 3 weeks in advance before they go live on YouTube, including a new One Piece video every Monday. That's right, my video on Buggy just went live for patrons, and I promise it's a video you don't want to miss. So become a patron and get subscribed. I'll see you guys next week on the continuing adventures of One Piece.